Their daughters being taken. Now, Christians are being killed at rates never seen before in the history of the church. Right now, today, the children being kidnapped, their daughters being taken into forced marriages by the Muslims in the north of Nigeria. That's persecution. Not the news media saying nasty things about us. Amen? Call it what you want, but please stop calling it persecution. It's an insult to our brothers and sisters who are really being persecuted. In Nigeria right now, Christians are being killed at rates.
All right, so as much as in a sense, I do agree in terms of what we call persecution, or what we've known historically as persecution, is the bodily abuse of those who call themselves Christians. We see that from as far back as the first century, and as soon as the Lord ascended into heaven. But understand that persecution does not grow in a vacuum. Persecution is a continuum, and it starts with mockery. It starts with marginalization. It starts with, there's many elements that begin the process of persecution. And then the extreme will show up exactly what we're seeing and what we've always seen ebbing and flowing in different parts of the world, and it will always be. Right? The tribulation is always. But not to say that there isn't persecution, and the inception of persecution doesn't start with marginalization. Perhaps call it, maybe for lack of another word, maybe it's marginalization, but it's part of the same spirit. It's part of the same spirit. Now, I hold to the same eschatology as Dr. Voddie Baucham, and I'm also Reformed, and so I agree with him on practically most things. Actually, I don't know what I do not agree with him on, but in this, we have to understand that we're seeing persecution growing even in the West, along with the apostasy. And I believe that in 2 Thessalonians, it speaks about this. It goes hand in hand. The persecution will be hand in hand equally with the apostasy. The apostasy must happen first, and then that man of lawlessness will be demonstrated. What is that man of lawlessness? In the last days, we both believe, due to our eschatology, that there will be a man of sin, a conglomerate or a system, a beast system, that will be what will usher in the very end of the end. But the beast system and the Antichrist system is a universal hatred of God. And Antichrist is said to be a spirit. It's said to be a system, not just a man or men. It's something that encompasses a spirit. And I believe that we see this in 1 John, speaking about it. And so I believe that persecution starts in the heart of anyone who has a hatred for God and a rejection for God. And so persecution, the face of persecution, has a continuum. And we see that in England today. You cannot preach the gospel openly. They're saying that there have been arrests for people saying certain things, or preaching the gospel in the streets, offending people. Freedom of speech is leaving there because it's not in their laws, embedded in their laws, the same way that it is here in the United States. And who is the one that's holding back the persecution, the persecution from growing, if not the very Spirit of God? So that's what we're seeing in the West. We're seeing the apostasy, and then the lawlessness, the man of lawlessness, the Antichrist. The Antichrist spirit is what we see in these nations. There's no one that's going to tell me that that's not what we're seeing in Nigeria today. The very face of the Antichrist, the beast system, the hatred of God, the conglomerate of it, the volcano eruption. But the marginalization, the mocking, the hatred of Christians, the rejection of Christ, the apostasy, is the rumbling that happens before the volcano bursts. Okay? And it is persecution on the rise in the West. And so we have to pray for our brothers and our sisters in India, in certain parts of South America, in Nigeria and the Congo, where we're hearing news of disgusting and massive persecutions.